nice thick neck here. Don't want too much of an angular transition though. Did some great work putting that on. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and pull that chin out. And we can either do that by selecting the verts that we want to manipulate. I'm going to select, put her down here, and go ahead and put on another FFD box here. And I'm going to increase that resolution again to just go double the number. There we go. That's a lot of lattice points, but when you actually get in here to manipulate that, it gives you a little bit better control. What I want is to set a lattice point right across here so the neck stays where it belongs, but I can still get all of this geometry and pull out. So if I pull this out now, you can see that the neck is going to follow somewhat, and that may or may not be a bad thing. But you got so few polygons in here that you can set that back. So I don't know if you can see my new line here, but it's a little bit more even with my nose, your nose. And I'm going to go ahead and set this nose back slightly. And I'm also going to take this one back and see how that feels. Alright, let's see what we got up here. Front, Z for zoom in. Alright, all this is looking really good. You got a nice rounded area here. You might want to model this in just a little bit more. This is a very powerful bony landmark in the face, the one right outside of the eye socket here. Make sure that's nice and full and round. Alright, let's see. We're going to collapse all. And we're going to see how that is. Oops. Let's go ahead and hide this for now. Alright, now you can see you're getting a little bit stronger jawline there. But now we've got a Roman nose, and sometimes that's what you're going for, sometimes not. So the way that you can get away from that a little bit if you want to is by coming in here now and fine-tuning with soft select. Now you can see when I select that, it selects the entire head. So you can affect the fall off right here and just grab that and dial it down. You can see less and less influence happening here. And I just want to influence that primary area without influencing the eye very much. So you bring that in. This is how you can begin to get a little bit finer detail in your mesh. I'm going to perhaps bring this down just a little bit. And back out. Alright. Maybe give him a little bit more forehead here. This back a little bit. There we go. Alright, it's got some nice shaped lips there. Make them just a little bit fuller. More comfortable feeling. Alright, so you can begin to define that so that it's most comfortable for you. Now I'm going to come in here, and what I don't want to do is affect this this area right in here. So I'll try to grab it back far enough and it's not. So for the really fine detail, what we're going to do is just turn soft select off and come in here, making sure I don't have any verts in the back of my head selected. I'm just going to start pulling, which is what you've been doing already. Okay, now we're going to come in here and cut this area just a little bit differently so that you got a really nice strong brow bone coming out of here. It's really important for our characters, especially our male characters. We'll bring this out a little bit more too, because that's where the top, the highest part of our cheekbone is. And right in this area is where I was telling you that is the widest part of the skull. This looks like it's indenting just a little. So you can see how I'm just very, very carefully making sure that these are nice, they follow each other to make the smoothest surface possible. Alright, so I'm going to come in here, and with my polygon tool selected, I'm going to come up here to the little pair of scissors, and I'm going to cut in just a couple more polygons here. I want an edge loop around here, a little bit more definition around the ear. Okay, and you want to continue that around. Don't get too close to the... Let's see. Got an end gun here, so let's take care of him. Yep, have a place back here you can meet up. Okay. A couple of triangles in here that we can... This will become a pole, and that's not going to be great when you go to subdividing the mesh. You want to try to stay with as many quads as possible. So let's go ahead and bring this in here. This will create a pole also. We need to cut this area up just a little bit differently. I see that we've got an edge loop coming up here, so let's make that one of our places where we can start modifying this mesh just a little differently. Got a large open polygon here, so let's also go ahead and begin addressing that, making sure that our edges are dealt with. Now, okay, so we have a line, an edge loop coming up here, and now this one up here. And I see that these are not quite matching, so let's go ahead and select those. We're going to weld those together. Okay, and we're going to weld these together. These, and you'll come back in here and just make sure that your mesh is really clean. Alright. Need to decide how to quadrify this area in here. We might not need this polygon there, so let's see how we can address that. I'm going to target weld, and I'm just going to begin making these decisions here. I'm going to come down, bring that here. Maybe not. bit more geometry coming in here. Go ahead and cut this one. Alright. And these are all choices that we make along the way as you are mapping out your mesh. There. Alright, let's go ahead and make that decision. And then we can come in here, select these edges that are not needed, and delete them. Alright, there's still some decisions we need to make here. Now these look like the edge loop's going to wrap a little bit better. Alright, we still have some decisions to make in here in order to quantify these areas. Quantify is my own word. Delete those. Oops. Triangles in here we can probably eliminate. Alright. So I think what you can see is that I'm looking for those edge loops. Strong edge loops in the direction that I know the folds are going to be going. And it makes it easier for the rigger and animator to get a good deformation out of the mesh. See, I think I might go for another edge loop right around here so we can get some good definition there. This is looking really good in here. Yeah, well, that's gonna go. Triangles here, but let's get that figured out as we go. As the face muscles actually pull back as okay. Let's see here. Alright, so as I'm working in here, I see that this area is pretty pulled back already. So let's go ahead and bring this back out. As you study your facial mesh, we're going to make this in the most relaxed pose to start with for our character. So we don't want to sculpt in any facial emotion yet. So go ahead and fill out those areas and more. Just gonna go too far forward. So there's a nice fullness around the mouth usually on the outside corner. There we go.